we're going to see how to draw the construction stage diagrams or models for shells and folded plates. So I have a shell here. It's a funicular shell, and I have a folded plate here which is made up of different plates right now. And we're going to follow this. So first we're going to make a steel wireframe, then we're going to make a formwork, then props, then reinforcement, and then the actual concrete. So first thing is we have to make like a steel wireframe made of rods or pipes and weld them to get a like a defining shape. So for this we're going to use something known as rebuild first. So you can see only there are very few, hardly any few lines here. So I'm going to rebuild this, and I'm going to have, let's say, maybe uh, more lines. Let's say maybe 8 or 8. Okay. Uh, so that is that. And for here also, I think I have enough lines, because for the folded plate I really don't need a lot of these. Are straight lines, so I just need the edges. Okay. Now what we're going to do is we're going to use a command known as extrude wireframe. So sorry, extract wireframe. So I am just going to use this and select this and take it out. And what this does is takes out these wireframes. I'm going to use the pipe command. One thing I'm going to do is, at least for the edges of a shell which are curved, I'm going to close these. And then I can use the pipe command to give it some dia. I think multiple is better. Again, pipe command, multiple, and then I'm going to use, let's say, a dia of, I'm working in meters, so maybe a dia of 200 or maybe 100 mm. Actually, let's just use 50 mm, right? So this is the pipe we have, and this completes our step 1, which is making the wireframe. So we're just basically using rebuild, and we're using extract wireframe, and then we are using pipe. Now we're going to work on the next step, which is making the formwork. Now one thing you need to do is that as you are making these elements, make sure that they are grouped. So I'll select this and I'll use the group command, just so that it's easy to hide. And because there are a lot of elements that are on top of each other, sorry, I'll just select this and group this. It's easy to select, easy to hide and show up. Now to add, convert this into like a formwork, we are using uh, the texture command. And once this dialog box opens up, you can click on this tiny plus, and it has a lot of these textures, but we're going to add a texture from our own. You can go to import from texture library, and this will open up mostly originally automatically, and then you can go to textures, and here you scroll down to something known as floorboards. They're generally long boards that actually resemble formwork. So in order to see that, I'm going to go here. First of all, I'm going to go here and just drag it over this thing. Okay. Or actually, you know what? I'm just going to click open and add it here. And then I can come here and assign it. Now, if I want to see how it looks like, I can go to rendered view, and it kind of looks like this. And there are different settings here. Generally we do this over a curve thing so that the curvature is minimized. I'll go here and do a rotation of 45 degrees. Now this is also, it looks too big, so I can always change the scale to, let's say, bigger, uh, and the same thing I can do here as well. So I can keep adding these textures, and they kind of resemble some sort of formwork, right? If it still looks pretty big for 2 meters, I can again change it and increase this number, right? Maybe 5 works. So just by using the textures command and changing it to rendered and changing these values under mapping, you can add this texture that looks actually like formwork. So that completes our second step. A third step is adding these props that actually act as support for this entire formwork. So in order to do that, I'm going to go to a shaded view because it's easier to zoom in and zoom out. I'm going to use this command known as extract PT. Okay, and what this does is it just extracts these points from any surface that you've made. So how many points based on your rebuild value, it will extract some number of points, and I'll just click enter, and so I have these points. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to hide all these surfaces for now. I'll hold shift and I'll select all this and I'll type hide so that I have this, and I'm going to select all of these and switch on the gumball and take this circle and kind of pull it down. Okay, uh, and one thing I'm going to do is this is my surface, so I'm going to use 4-point surface or surf PT. That is the command, and I'm just going to make a base. This base serves as the bottom limit or the bottom extent of our shell or folded plate. Okay, uh, what we're going to do is we're going to trim these. It says select cutting object, so I'm going to select this and this, hold shift and select these two, and then enter, and it said objects to trim. I'm going to select all of these. Okay, so okay, probably these are not selected. Let's do it once again. Trim, and select all of these, and I'll do this trim, and I'll select these as well. If this is a problem, I can always go to front and select and trim these, and what that does is it only maintains the heights of these props. And finally I'm going to use a prop command, pipe command, multiple, and I'm going to select all these curves. Okay, now if all these side curves are getting selected, I can go back and hide these and go to pipe again, click on multiple, and then select this. I'm going to make a let's say a 100 radius or 200 dia, let's say a bamboo or a timber or a steel prop. So I'm going to do that, and the output is going to be a sub D or a surface. Surface is fine, cap is flat, and that's all. That's all. And once I have this, I'll have these props coming up, right? And yeah, I can again show or unhide the uh, original surface. So I have these props. Uh, okay. Okay, so moving ahead, first thing we will have to do is in this step we're going to we have made the props. We're going to make the reinforcement. So you can see there are these reinforcements. I've not made all of them, but I've made some, and it's pretty easy to kind of make reinforcement once you have the surfaces ready. First of all, I'm going to do a couple of things. I'm going to hide or delete these points. So I'm going to use the command cell pt, and I'm just going to delete it. I don't need these points. And another thing I'm going to do is once I'm going to hide these, so after selecting I'm going to hide, and I'm going to go to I'm also going to hide these, and I will just select this and make this a group, and also select this and make this a group. Okay, now I'm going to show everything back, and if you think that this is coming out, I can always take it a little ahead, little above. I'll switch off my grid snap and I'll take this a little ahead. Okay, uh, now what I'm going to do is we're going to make reinforcement. So for reinforcement, it's a simple command. It's known as extract isocurve, which just makes lines. So once I select the surface, I can always just keep on clicking, and it just makes reinforcements, or I would say lines for now. And if I have to change the direction, I can go to this direction and click here, and it says V. So U is this direction we just made, and V is this. So I'm just going to make some. Okay. So that's that. And here also, again, let's go to extract isocurve, and I'll select this, and it's going to make something like this. It's going to go in that direction, and that's okay. And click enter. So again, go to extract isocurve, click, change the direction, and go to U, and then I'm going to make something like this. So it's pretty easy to get these lines. The only thing is I will just need to hide a lot of stuff. Uh, I will select all of this. I'll hide it. I will also select, because this is group, hide it. So hide the surface, this and this also hide. And I'll use the pipe command again. Radius of, you can also click on diameter if that's easy. Click on diameter. I'm going to give it a diameter of 10, that is 10 mm dia rods, and that should be enough. You can see that these actually turn into 10 mm dia bars. So that's pretty easy to actually get reinforcement. To get everything back, you can get show, and you will also see that if these things are not grouped, you can always hide and group this, and then using show you can get everything back. So it's pretty easy to actually get all these things one after the other. Okay, before we proceed to the final step, I forgot to tell one thing, that the formwork, so that the concrete doesn't fall off, will also have a side, sort of like this side tray or the side cover. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to select these, or any of these, maybe all of these, and the opposite of show and hide is isolate. So I can just isolate and work on these because there's so many elements. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to select these edges, and I'm going to extrude them outside so that they become like a tray. So it kind of holds concrete. So what I'm going to do is I will control shift and click on this, and keep clicking on the edges of which I want the tray for. So control shift I'm holding, and it basically helps us select any sub element of our geometry. So we'll see that you've selected all of this, and I'm going to extrude. So extruding is just simple. If you just use this, and I'm going to extrude it by, let's say, 200 mm or 250 mm, or let's say 300 mm, and it's going to come up, and now it becomes like a nice tray. Only thing left is if I go to rendered, you'll see that this doesn't look like a formwork. So I'm going to go to textures again, and I'm going to add these here. So I'll just click and drag, so they kind of look like they are part of the formwork. Okay, you can do the same thing for the folded plate as well. Don't forget to group it, so that's easier to select, and now it does look like some sort of formwork. Right, so that's one thing that I forgot. And finally we'll just make the actual shape, which is your concrete. So the last uh, step, we are going to model the concrete itself. So once the reinforcement is laid out, this is simple. What I'm going to do is I have made these two as groups, but I'm going to shift select and using this part of the gumball, I'm gonna hold Alt and make a copy of this. Okay, and I'm going to ungroup this and delete the sides because the concrete doesn't need the tray, we just need the surface. Here also I'm going to ungroup this and remove these sides. Okay, and I'm going to use the command known as extrude surface. So extrude surface, if I select anything or if I select all of this and press enter, it's going to help me extrude. I'll keep a thickness of, let's say, 0.2 or 0.25 mm. 250 mm is fine, and then it looks like a. Now if you want to join these finally, you can use the join command. Sometimes they don't work. You can use boolean union. Let's see if that works. It's going to take some time, but yeah, this kind of joins these. So just have a look that in rendered this looks like this. Now if you want to leave it white, that's also okay, but you can always add some texture. So if I go to texture, I've already added this bump leather, which is this concrete texture. You can go here, import from texture library, go to textures and go to bump leather or bump grit. Any one of these look like leather is a nice good concrete finish, and nothing, I can just drag it here or drag it here and it's going to look like concrete. Okay, if you want to change anything, you can always click on that and change colors, or you can use the color mask to actually have a different color. I'm not doing that. Change this to a smaller number so that it becomes larger, or if you change it to 10, it becomes more denser. So it kind of looks like dark concrete, and that completes our set. I'm going to go to show, and now I have everything. I have the formwork, I have reinforcement, I have the props, I have the wireframe. Please, you can get the wireframe back and then sort of start exploding. See, again, I have not grouped these. Probably have grouped these, yes. So it just helps us layer all the different steps. So you have the props, you have the wireframe, you have the formwork, you have the reinforcement, and then you have concrete. The one thing that I'm not modeling it here is that be very clear. If you look at this example, you'll see that the shell rests on the ground, so it has four footings, but the folded plate is sort of elevated in the air and it resting on 4 or 5 columns, and again those 4 or 5 columns have their tiny footings. So I'm not modeling columns here. Be very clear that where your shell starts and where your folded plate starts and where are the columns located. For that you just have to extrude a cube, make a rectangle and extrude it so that becomes a concrete column. And yeah, that's all. I think that's just simple, and in a simple nutshell you can model all the construction stages of a folded plate and a shell. Hope that helps.